Sorry for the echo. I wanted to try and do one of these mid working out. See how my brain functions and acts. Questions that come up. I got about 7:45, so we have to be to the Ball Diamonds in an hour. I didn't sleep in, but gym didn't open till 7. I forgot my running shoes in Midland. We're in Waco, so I couldn't really do anything except for be in the hotel gym in my flip-flops where they don't give a correct care. Let's talk about things. Intentions. My intent, personally, my intent with this gym routine, this course that I'm working on with my guy Matt, is I intend to learn about myself. I've been doing that for the last couple of years, trying to lose weight, dabble in still drinking, not drinking, dabble in drugs, not drugs, sobriety, not sobriety, and I don't know exactly where I want to live in that. I haven't figured that all out, but I do know that since I've been trying to figure it out, this life's throwing some pretty fun and wild curveballs at me. When I started this whole thing, I started it on, sorry, the TV was being weird. When I started this whole thing, I did it to prove something to myself. But what got me started and probably kept my fire going was the fact that some people didn't believe that I could do it. I remember I just wanted to do Sober October and see how that felt. And obviously, I've spoken to you guys before, and I felt myself being somewhat of a alcoholic, but at the time I sure didn't. I was having a drink, not every day, but some days, and then weekends if I didn't have to work. I was having a plethora. The right people were there and inviting, and I had built myself up a reputation at work as being the guy that drove the party truck. So that boys after work have a drink in the vehicle together. And small town fun. But I physically had literally had a couple of kids. I call them kids since they were a bit younger than me, but back then I said I was going to do Sober October. Say, you? And that didn't feel very good. I said, you? I doubt you're going to make that happen. And that didn't feel awesome at all. So I had something to prove to myself, and something to prove to these kids that just yapped at me. And then in the midst of that process, I started going to the gym and a much better routine, and those things compounded together. all of a sudden I started feeling unbelievable. Unbelievable in ways that I had no idea were possible, to be totally honest. And then as the pounds started coming off, I started feeling my back loosen up, my knees not feel as jacked up, my joints in every way, shape, and form just felt better. And I soon realized that I was a sick individual. Like, not sick coughing or puking, but sick as in was just accepting the fact that my lower back was just sore all the time because I had an extra 50 or 60 pounds poking out from my belly button, causing me to have to, lean back and keep that weight held up. My knees, like to this day, I don't have the strongest legs in the world. Let's get that straight, because I'm not some crazy strongman champion or anything like that. But when Cash and I go to the gym, for example, he says, "Man, you can lift a lot of weight." And I said, "Well, I was carrying around a fat guy for a long time, so just naturally those babies, they got some extra mileage on them." But then that being said, I was lazy as all get up and didn't realize it. It took me a long time to even build up any upper body strength to do a chin up or a pull up. And I think I can only do like 4 or 5 of them now. And I'm grateful to be able to do that. And I started feeling better in every way. And I realized that maybe I did have an addiction problem. I was addicted to not feeling. And then any one of us that's ever had a drink and turn that drink into 2, 3, 4, you get that feeling of the giggles, feeling good, you get a glow in your cheeks. I was addicted to that feeling. And then when the mood's set just right, and you're with just the right amount of people, or the right ones, that kind of uncontrollable evening is a fun evening to be affiliated with. I do know that for sure. I have some pretty fond memories with the right crew and the right crowds, and a bottle of whiskey and some mischief. But since being on the sober side, I have found that I am having some fantastic mornings, quieter evenings, tend to not stay up as late, and if you do, it's an absolute drag because you're just tired. Whereas when you're drinking, you're having a Jaeger bomb or mixing your rum with Coke and whiskey Coke, and then the stimulating feeling as you do get drunk. If you can ride the train a little bit, that's a stimulating feeling to just have fun, giggle, and laugh until your body decides it's time to shut down. Anyway, I have since being sober, and I haven't been sober for very long. Let's get that straight. I loved switching one vice for another for a while. Some people call it California sober down here. I think we called it that up north too, but I just basically swapped out having a drink for having a puff of cannabis. And I don't disagree with anybody's choice to do that. I'm on a path different right now. But that's all I did was swap one for the other, and made supper taste mighty fine and delicious. But intoxication is still, I'm still intoxicated. Just come back down to reality in a quicker fashion. But the only thing I'm half addicted to now would be caffeine, and it's just because we've put it as a society into every single thing that we consume. Everyone knows that feeling and that need to have a cup of coffee on their way to work, and when they don't, they're grumpy, guilty. And then anybody you've ever met in the oil and gas industry, maybe they don't like coffee, so they double that down with a Red Bull. To me, that's the same shit. You got coffee that has wild amounts of caffeine in it. And Red Bull, they know, you know exactly how much caffeine is in it. There's the other vitamins and stuff that are in there that you can maybe overdo a little bit. But anyway, oil and gas worker, have that first coffee. If that's not enough to get you through the whole day, well, you're just gonna have one of them monsters midway through the day too. And then the guy forgets, maybe you get home and you want a tasty treat. It mix water in there all day. Let's get that straight. For me anyway, I've gotten myself to about a gallon a day, 4 liters a day. But you're having supper, you want something tasty with supper. Sure, you're gonna have your glass of water or two, but maybe you have a Diet Cola. Oh snap, another caffeine. Decaffeinated coffee. I see my family members drinking that. It still has caffeine in it. It's just less. But so I'm learning about myself. I'm learning that I have the ability to make excuses for myself, and I've seen that passed down to my kids. Excuses like that showed up when I was a overweight man. Excuses of coming home from a hard day of work. And it was a hard day of work. Maybe we pulled cable all day. Maybe we built tray all day. Maybe it was tough on the mind. Maybe we terminated a PLC all day, so it wasn't physical, but it was mentally draining. You get home and you just want to kick up the feet, but you didn't do anything to get after it first thing in the morning. So what are we going to do? Well, I don't really want to do anything. I just want to watch some TV, fire back some food, go to bed. And I'm seeing that now, working with my kids. Cash is trying to be a bit more physically fit so he can get some speed back when running the bases and get some strength when hitting the baseball. And ultimately, those things will translate to being able to throw the ball harder, maybe a bit farther. It all comes down. Evelyn, she doesn't have any physical goals like running or anything like that, but I explained to her, just from my now understanding of it, that your instrument, clarinet, marching, all of that will be ultimately and inevitably much, much, much easier done if we set some of those goals and go after them. It's a tough pill to swallow, knowing that, you know, you're the reason, it's your fault to swallow that pill. It's my fault that I was overweight. My fault that I didn't, in the end, it's my fault that I didn't have any idea what good healthy foods are, what the difference between carbs, protein, fats, what they do in your body, how they react in your body. We can look backwards past that I didn't get taught nothing as much as we want, but if you want to make changes for you, do it. It's another thing that we're learning with kids. I was also one of these for a while. I wanted to be different, but I was nervous to be different. If I wanted to be an actor, I never stood up and said, I want to act, because drama class might have been weird. The closest thing I did have was being a band geek, I call it, being a band nerd. And I got my fair share of licks of being made fun of with that, but I had enough friends in the band portion of life that you didn't hear that noise as much, because none of us in the band were friends with that, for lack of better, that loser that was making fun of us. But, you know, I'm learning how to break through with cash, he says to me the other day. Last night he said it to both of us. Do you like the look of knickers versus long pants? I said, I always have. I've been very vocal about it. You used to just wear knickers no matter what, and even if you were the only one on your team that was doing it, and I told you then that I thought they looked fucking awesome. And I thought they looked more slick, more fun, more clean than long pants. And he said last night, he said it at least, he openly said it, so we were able to not contradict, but to talk to him about that. But he said, I just don't like that no one else wears knickers. And that's when we said, when are you going to be more concerned about being cash instead of more concerned about what the flock of sheep is doing? And there's no disrespect to anybody, because for sure you want to match your teammates, but they make knickers that match your pants and everything, so they can be part of the uniform. So if you like the look and you like the idea and you like the comfort of wearing knickers instead of long pants, what are you worried about with everybody else not wearing knickers? And he finally, maybe he got it, we'll see. Time will tell, but he was like, whoa, you're right. You know, I was guilty of that when I was a kid. I like these shoes. And those shoes are loud, lots of colors. If you get those loud shoes, people are gonna, you know, call you a loser, fag, awful words, dummy, weirdo. And like, for what? Who cares? At the end of the day, I've also been one of those people that spouted out hate. And it comes from a place of uncertainty and non-confidence that you are a loser because you're doing something that I'm not doing, but maybe I want to do, and you have the courage to do it. Because hurt people. And that's something that stuck with me, because I was a weaker than most individual for a long time in my life, where I would pick on somebody if they looked at me in any way, shape, or form the wrong way. And I was kind of a funny guy, so I could drop negative comments and whatnot and twist it up funny so it didn't look like I was being such an asshole, but I was. Not my proudest moments, but I wouldn't take them back at the end of the day. Trying to learn about who I am now, it gives a person some realization of some of the shit you're passing on, and some of the shit that you deemed okay in your mind back then that probably isn't okay. Anyway, that's my brain while working out. Thanks for coming with me on this jog. I'll see you guys later. Oh, I guess I should touch. It took me a while to get back to doing these, and I want to start doing them on a more consistent basis, and I want to apologize. If you've made it through this much of the video, I need to be honest, I need to be open. I was going through jobs, went from one that I held for 15 years to looking for one, and I found one, and then so I was doing them a little bit more consistently when I had a bunch of time because I was in between jobs. Just got that job. Now I was busy learning the new ropes. What I needed to complete to get hired on, the safety courses I needed to go to, the paperwork I needed to fill out. And I've started down that path, and we are learning that. And so now our household has 2 working parents again. Our hours of operation start at anywhere from 3:45 to 4 in the morning. That's when the first one of us wakes up, and it goes till 8:30 to 9:30. Generally, we try to not be in bed any later than 9:30, 10 sleeping, because then we got to do it all over again. And that has, between that, trying to find work in between jobs, having to get our visa paperwork updated to reflect that, getting a new start with a new company, new career path, family coming down to visit. Today would officially be our first day of just our family, and trying to find some version of routine. So I'm sorry that I wasn't as consistent and I maybe fell off. I hope I can get some of you guys interested in listening to my stuff again, but time will tell. I'll be here. I'm going to stay trying to do these. I'm going to try and do them a little bit more consistently, twice a week. And that's my story for now. If there's anything you'd like to hear from me, if there's anything that you'd like to hear me speak about, I'm all ears. Please leave a comment, reach out to me on my socials or through this, and let a guy know. All right, 1 mile a day. I love you guys. Thanks for rocking with me.